So delighted. Yes, delighted. I like that. Delighted, elated. See all these smart people, y'all are helping me. Hey, Facebook. So I had to log off and pop back on. So hopefully now it is working properly. Maybe, I hope. I don't know how to. If I play both, this is going to be interesting. Anyway, we're all learning and figuring stuff out. So hopefully folks on Facebook can see this now as well. Yes, okay. So I'm so delighted. I'm elated about this opportunity to hang out with you guys tonight. Thank you for joining in and sharing and tagging people and all of those kind of things. If you are on Facebook, please put a comment in because I am like multitasking. And so I'm not exactly sure if it is showing up the way that I would like it to. Okay, good. It's there. Yeah. All right. So tonight, Dr. Sessions. So I have to just say that my friend Sierra Narita helped me with the name for this because I was struggling because I didn't know what to call it. Like it was started off with like church chat, but then I was like, well, it's not solely church. And then I don't know. I'm into alliteration. I don't know why I keep trying to use these words that I don't really know what they mean, but when it's like the same letter back to back. And so she was like, what about sessions? And I was like, well, it's not really like therapies, but then like the Dr. S and sessions, so hence Dr. Sessions. So as I was thinking about like what exactly is the purpose of this, we're figuring this out together. It's really just, I feel like it's really just another space and opportunity for us to have candid conversations, excuse me, about things that are going on, things that have happened in our lives before, things that are happening currently, things we might be worried about are going to happen in the future. And I just want to let folks know, so to put this out here, because I know I'll pop up and do videos or do short videos or reels or whatever. But since we are talking about who will possibly be talking about things that are a little more, I guess, therapeutic in nature, I want to let people know I really am a doctor. So it's not just like Dr. Phil, because I don't think he's an actual doctor. Maybe he is. I don't know. But it's not for show. Like I legit have a PhD in social work. I am a legit therapist. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and have been doing this a very long time. Like I think over 20 years, guys. A long time. And I'm also a professor. So that's my actual, pay the bills, put food on the table job is an associate professor at a university in St. Louis. So the things that I share, the things that I say, they come from actual education, book knowledge, experience, not just kind of fly by night. Now, saying all that, listen, Dr. MC, let me just highlight the work was done. But to give the disclaimer that what I share should not substitute, like if you feel like you legit need a therapist and you need to seek therapy. I obviously am an advocate of therapy. And so maybe, a nugget will be dropped that motivates you to move forward in your healing process. So don't keep it to just me, seek out additional therapeutic interventions and help and assistance and all that good stuff. And speaking of which, sis on here, Dr. MC, who I keep mentioning, be sure to go follow her because she is sharing a video every day this month about various things. She's talked about feelings, she's talked about forgiveness, now she's talking about sex in church. So these are all conversations that need to be had. So with that in mind, what are we doing? What are we talking about? So I think we're going to talk about regret. Can anybody relate? And again, if you're on Facebook, I cannot necessarily see all the comments. So if you're here, say hi, put something in the chat. But I think I want to talk about regret. Regret and crossroads. You're so welcome. Because in my own personal life, I feel like regrets are something that can become a little more pervasive than they need to be. So I think I shared this on another video. I don't even remember what I was talking about. It was probably actually last week with a Teaching Tuesday and talking about fear. And I was saying that I'm a very critical thinker. I overanalyze. We talked about, how that can lead to paralysis because then you don't do anything. Well, it's the same thing for me with regret. Like I will mull over a situation, a decision from years and years and years ago and be like, well, what if I had done it this way? Or what if I had said this? Or what if I had gone there? Or what if, and then it like I spiral. My name really should be Alice because I'm like Alice in Wonderland. I will go down a rabbit hole in a heartbeat and will just find myself getting really caught up in I should have done it a different way. I should have, did it this way. I should have said that. I should have. And that is not the will of God, first of all. But I'm not trying to make this churchy, but it's not the will of God. For us to constantly be thinking about the woulda, coulda, shoulda. So if you're watching right now and you can relate just to the thought of regret, like, are you a woulda, coulda, shoulda person? Are you a person who's like, you know what I'm saying? It's 15 years later. It's, you know what I'm saying? You were like coming out the womb and you're still like, well, I should have done it differently. Well, maybe I should have said this. Hey, Sister Kelly with the 9. Thank you. We've got some transparent, honest people up here in these streets. And you just get like so overwhelmed with that. And so sidebar, I'm obviously not very focused tonight. I have a Christian t-shirt line. It's called C-Shirts Apparel. And one of the shirts that I have, it says, I regret. And it stands for I remind the enemy God rules everything. Because that's how bad it was. Like, I was like, I have to come up with something to help me not be in my feelings, not be in my flesh, not, be over analyzing and get into a place where I'm, just sad and despondent all the time because I'm wondering about what if. Okay, so all that being said, let me focus. Regret and crossroads. So I think a lot of times when we think about things that we have experienced in the past, things that, may be present for some of us right now, we'll say, oh, we're at a fork in the road. We'll say we're at this very kind of binary decision, like it's either left or right, or good or bad, or this or that. But in all actuality, oftentimes we are at a crossroads where it's multiple possibilities. There are multiple ways that we can go in directions that we can take with regards to what should I do? Like which way should I go? It is sometimes easy if it's only this or that. Like, well, duh, this is bad for me. I'm going to go this way, or duh, this is great. But what if you have to choose between several good options and you pick one and then that doesn't work out? And then again, Alice in the rabbit hole, freaking out, trying to figure out, well, dang it, what did I do wrong? And if you are a believer, then you're like, well, did I not pray enough? Did I not hear from God? Like, this whole other thing happens. So crossroads. So when I think of crossroads, I think of that pole, like you're watching a movie or something, and it's like the pole, and they have an arrow going this way to, I don't know, Canada, or arrow this way to Kansas, or arrow this way to Florida, and you see the person standing there trying to figure out which way to go, which path to take. And I looked it up because if you've watched any of my videos, you also know that I'm a nerd. And I want to know what I'm talking about. So a crossroads, it can be as two, but it says an intersection of two or more roads, a point at which a critical decision must be made that will have far-reaching consequences. Oh my gosh. Again, show of virtual hands. How many of us have been at a crossroads, a point where we have a critical decision to make? Like critical, like again, not do I wear the blue shoes or the white shoes, but a critical, possibly life-altering decision that can have far-reaching consequences. So if I choose to do this decision that I'm making right now is going to have repercussions, ramifications, consequences further down the line. Oh my God, just put so much weight to it when you put up the definition. And so for me, when I think about that, I'm just like, that is a stressful place to be in. And one of the things, in honesty and transparency, that made me think about this particular topic was, so I moved to St. Louis in 2008 to come to school to get my PhD. Months before, maybe 8 months prior to me moving here, a guy that I had dated off and on for many, many years proposed to me. Now, we weren't dating at the time. I was over it. I had rid my mind of him. I was like, we're cool, we're friends, we're whatever. But he figured, I was the love of his life. If he watches this ever, I'm not trying to be funny. I think he would say that. And so he was coming to claim his bride, and he came and he proposed to me, and y'all, I laughed, like legit, like laughter came out of my mouth, because I was like, we're not dating. I'm not understanding why you're here. Like it was this whole weird thing. So anyway, fast forward to now, and I'm like, what if I said yes? What if I at least dated him? What if I, so for however long that is, 14, 13 years, thank you. I have gone back and forth with myself, because since denying that particular proposal, I have been married a couple times. I am currently divorced and very single. And so when things like that happen, I'm like, oh my gosh, how would my life have been different if I had maybe not even married him, but at bare minimum accepted his proposal? And, I don't know what happened, what would have happened, but the trajectory that I'm on now would be very different. And so it would have been, that was a pivotal moment for me. Like it was a pivotal moment for the what ifs, for my subsequent relationships, for my child, like, the child I have currently, because I said no to that guy. So I married somebody else and got another baby, had a baby with somebody else. Like regret and crossroads. So that was kind of what got me here. So when you think about a pivotal moment, I looked it up too. again, the word crucial came up, of crucial importance in relation to the development or success of something else. So that was really a crucial moment in my life. And he and I, the guy, like we're still friends. Sometimes we touch base just to see how one another are doing. And we'll have these conversations about like, well, what if? Well, do you think? Well, and that, but the problem with that, in my opinion, I won't say problem, one of the things that can be potentially harmful with thinking like that is, one, you're always second guessing yourself and you're not enjoying the moment that you're in at the time. And two, you're completely stressing yourself out because it's no way to know. It's no way to know. Like, there's absolutely no way to know at all what would happen if we had made a different decision, if we had picked a different road, if we had gone down another path, if we had, dated the other person, if we had gone to that college. Like, that's a whole nother thing. Like, I question sometimes. I went to a PWI, which is a predominantly white institution. All of my degrees are from PWIs. I sometimes feel regret about not going to a HBCU, a historically Black college or university, because I'm like, well, maybe I would have met my husband there. Just saying. Maybe I would have had a different experience there. But all of us can say there have been times when we're at crossroads, we made a pivotal decision, and now we're feeling some kind of way about that. And hello to everyone who is just popping in and coming on in. Say hi. Again, if you're on Facebook, it might be a little weird and glitchy. I hope not. But let me know if you're on here as well. And we're talking about regret and crossroads. So with regret, look that up too. My last little definition, my last little nerdy moment. Feel sad, repentant, or disappointed over something that has happened or been done, especially a loss or a missed opportunity. And I would even, if Merriam-Webster asked me, I would even add a perceived loss or missed opportunity. Because maybe it wasn't a loss. Maybe it really was a blessing in disguise. But now, because our present isn't going the way that we think it should, we are perceiving it as a loss or a missed opportunity. And I giggle because I feel like when we have these regretful moments, when we have these woulda, coulda, shoulda moments, they are not based in fact. I don't know. You guys tell me. Maybe I'm wrong. Here is why I say this. I feel like, this is my opinion. This is Dr. Sessions. So my opinion, my experience, and maybe you guys can relate to what I'm saying. I feel like when we reflect back on what happened, we don't, especially if our now is not the way that we would ideally want it to be. When we reflect back on the past, we tend to rewrite history. Again, just me, I'm the only one. We suddenly view the whatever, the job offer, the car, the house, whatever it is, it's not limited. Regret is not limited to relationships. We tend to reflect back on those things with kind of rose-colored glasses, or, I'm saying, that it's not, the picture is a little hazy. It's a little less clear. And it feels like it was better than it was. And thus we have missed out. That's why we're thinking it's a loss, because you know what, he really was a nice guy. I mean, you know what, she was cool. She was wifey material, but they was ratchet. Or the job was not ideal for you. You didn't want to move to, I don't know, Kalamazoo or whatever. But now you're in a job that you hate, and you're like, I mean, well, 9 months of snow wouldn't have been that bad. It would have. That's why you didn't go. But in your now, because it's not ideal, and you're thinking back and regretting that pivotal point at the crossroads, it was phenomenal. It was great. It was the best thing that ever happened. Anybody else? Anybody else feel that? Anybody else that makes sense? I'm trying to think what else. What were my thoughts on regret? So I say all this to say, and I don't know if Instagram is being weird too. I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now. But I share this to say, and again, hopefully you guys can relate, and please let me know. Please give me some feedback. Whether you're watching it right now, you watch the replay. And what if you can relate to feeling regret, relate to feeling like you have made a wrong decision that is now impacting your present to the point that you wish you were Marty McFly and could go back in time. I don't know that has happened yet. I don't know that a time machine has been made yet. I mean, they're sending people out to space as of today. So maybe somebody has a time machine in their garage that I am unaware of. If y'all find out about one, let me know. I will be first in line to catch a ride. But when you find yourself feeling regret, when you find yourself feeling bad about some decisions you made, here are some things that may be helpful to you. So this is going to sound so cliche and possibly easier said than done, but really, we have to come to grips with the past. We just have to accept what was done, what we did, what happened, how it went. Sister Kelly, with the eye, it's a running joke, but she says, I know I have some regrets, but I try not to dwell in my stupid decisions. Exactly. That's the exact point that I was getting ready to make, is that we just have to come to terms with what happened. It's done. We can't go back in time. We can't fix it. And for me, I have literally prayed to God and been like, just show me in a dream. just show me like a semblance of what could have possibly been. And if it was worse, then I'm good. I can move on. But if it was better, then what? Then I'm really gonna be kicking myself. Right. So on IG, Dr. MC said you hit on a key point when you highlighted what you're putting your faith in. When it's in feelings, perception, or other perspectives, it taints our clarity. Yes. Oh my gosh. That perception and our feelings. I love how you say that on your post too. Like, feelings are fickle. They're temporary. They fade. And we cannot make, this is in regards to being at these crossroads too, but definitely on reflecting back, we can't make, it is not helpful for us. I hate to tell people what they can and can't do because they grown. It is helpful for us not to make decisions, permanent decisions based on temporary feelings. You sleep on it, like, old school, your grandma or whomever used to say, well, just sleep on it. Just sleep on it and think about it tomorrow, because that gives you time to actually think about what you're getting ready to do or the decision that you're getting ready to make. And you put some wisdom behind it and not just, your feelings or your perception. And because all of those things are tainted by whatever is going on internally at that point. That's a whole nother doctor session. But yeah, so when you are, in your now, when you are in your present and you are feeling some kind of way about that, you are feeling regret, sadness, repentant, not like biblical repentant, but like, oh my God, woe is me. You have to just give yourself permission to accept it is what it is. It's done. It's said. Maybe you could have done something differently, but I mean, you we can't go back. We can't go back and fix it. We can't go back to that point in time. And so taking that awareness and letting that be your foundation, let that be your stepping stone for your next step. So if you legitimately made a wrong choice, if you legitimately made a decision out of your feelings or faulty perception, then learn from that. Like, don't do that again. Don't, it is helpful for us not to belabor what happened in the past and then keep making decisions in the same way. Now you're at a crossroads again, and you're going to make a decision the exact same way that you're now regretting that you did 5 years ago. Use it as an opportunity to learn. Use it as an opportunity to grow and say, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't make decisions like that. Maybe, when I make rash decisions, when I make impulsive decisions, when I make decisions when I'm hungry, I end up, shooting myself in the foot. So maybe I should not do that. So instead of, being mad at yourself or ashamed or feeling guilty about that, use that as a place to learn and grow and mature and move forward. Does that make sense? I'm definitely talking to me, for sure. And as I mentioned already, don't romanticize the past. Don't. It is helpful for us not to misrepresent what happened in the past. It is helpful. So I'm sure if the guy I'm referring to ever watches these videos, I'm going to get a text message, and I'm so not trying to be funny. But with him, the reason why I laughed and the reason why I said no is because we had been dating prior to that point. We had dated off and on for like 4 or 5 years. And for the first 3 probably of those years, I was head over heels in love or something. I don't know if it was love, but I was head over heels. Like, you couldn't tell me that man wasn't my husband. You couldn't tell me, that we weren't going to get married and, make all the babies and, all of the things. And I held on to that for like 3 or 4 years, and he wasn't ready. He wasn't trying to go there. And finally I was like, you know what? I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. And so I made up my mind, and I was good, and I was done, and we were cool, and no hard feelings, and we were friends and all of that. So a year or 2 later, you come bebopping up like, hey, let's get married. I want to marry you. Sir, no. Now I could romanticize it now that it's been, 14 years later, and be like, you know what? I mean, but he was really a nice guy, and he is. Or this, that, and the third. But the truth of the matter is, at the time, I invested, we're not gonna say wasted, invested several years of my life and made a decision based on what was at the time, in the here and now. So now I can't be like, oh, well, it was. No, it wasn't. It was what it was, and that's why I made the decision. So that's why I'm encouraging us to not romanticize. When you are in this place now and you're, feeling kind of shaky and shady and the what ifs and the woulda, coulda, shouldas, be honest about what was actually happening at the time when you made the decision. Be honest, be real with yourself about what was actually going on and why you made those decisions. And real talk, the thing we think we could have done or should have done actually might have been worse. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a part of that romanticizing too. Cause in my head, I could say, so when I applied so when I was considering getting my PhD, I looked at a couple of different schools and ended up settling on the school that I attended here in St. Louis. But I could say, oh, well, man, if I had gone to Florida State, man, if I had went to, I don't know, I think I looked at Arizona or somewhere. If I had gone there, I would have. But what if I had gone there and then my now was worse? And then I would be like, well, dang, I should have gone to WashU. All of that fantasy, like you said, Dr. MC, fantasy is not real. We will tell a story in our head so fast. We will make up a scenario that ain't nowhere near truth in our head so quickly. Stick to the facts. It's like Dragnet. I don't know if anybody on here or who watch it later old enough to remember Dragnet. Just the facts, ma'am. Just the fact. What's the facts? The facts of the matter were you didn't want the job. You didn't like the car. You weren't interested in him or her. That went where you need to. That's the facts. Let's not get caught up in the fantasy or caught up in the romanticism of what could have been. Because again, we don't know. It is what it is. And then lastly, no matter what the past is, no matter, again, even if maybe we should have made a different decision, no matter how silly or dumb or stupid as Sister Kelly with the I said, no matter whatever you did, whatever you experienced, whatever decision you made then has helped to make you the person that you are now. It has framed the person that you are now. It is, okay, my churchy moment. Why the Bible says all things work together for the good, for those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. Because at the end of the day, whatever has happened, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, positive, hey, Cyril, it has made you who you are today. I would not be Dr. S doing this live with you all right now if I had made some other decisions in my life. Like I truly believe that. Like if probably, again, and no shade to the guy, but if we had gotten married when I was all head over heels in love, I don't think I would have, I would have been probably comfortable, being a wife, being a mother, working a regular 9 to 5, which just FYI, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday is not my ministry. But it probably would have been okay. That would have been the trajectory that I was on. But because things worked out the way that they did, I was single and with no kids in my 30s and was like, I want to do something different. And decided to get a PhD. That might not have happened if I had gone to an HBCU or if I had, gone there, did this or that. So I find comfort now. And again, I'm preaching to myself, talking to myself, sharing y'all my experience. Now I find comfort in that. I find comfort in the fact that all of those decisions that I made in the past that felt like they were poor decisions have created me. Yay. Have made me. And I feel the same. That is true for those of you watching, that whatever happened, and I know, oh my gosh, for some of the people I know are watching, or people I know that I'm friends with on social media, some of y'all, I know your story, I know your testimony, I watched your videos and I know it was not good stuff. Like I know it was horrible stuff you would wish on your worst enemy. And so if people are watching it, like, so you mean to tell me when blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying it should have happened. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying though is that now, whatever experience that was, especially those things where we make conscious choices, and it's because it's also different when things are done to us. I'm talking about decisions we have made. But whatever it is, it has made us, it has made you into the person you are now. You now have something that you can share with some other person that had you not had that experience, you wouldn't be able to relate. You wouldn't be able to empathize. I was just talking to a friend from high school, and we were, I was so she's currently separated, and I was like, so I get it. I said, you feel like a failure. You feel like you can't be honest about what's going on because people are going to be looking at you. You're worried about people's opinions. And so I just shared how I felt. And she was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I feel. Well, if I hadn't had those experiences, I couldn't say that. It's one thing to be like, well, I can imagine what you're going through, or I can, empathize. But it's different when you actually know, because you've been there, because you've made those types of choices. You've made those types of decisions. You've had those types of experiences. So our past definitely helped to create and mold and shape who we are now. And that's needful, that's purposeful, that's beneficial. It might not feel like it all the time, but it is. And so when those feelings of regret come up, I challenge us to just recognize the past is the past, and we can't change it, unfortunately. That we can't romanticize the past, though. Yes, our testimonies are such powerful healing tools. Yes, we can't. What's it? You can't have a testimony if you haven't gone through a test. I can stand up boldly and loudly and say, I made some decisions that were probably not smart. So let's talk about it. So if a person, wants to talk about whatever, I'm like, let's do it. And just a quick aside, since you mentioned that, it is so important for us as we are being honest and candid about our experiences, that we tell people what actually happened. So I mentioned, like, don't romanticize your past as you're thinking about it, to be like, oh, woulda, shoulda, coulda, but don't romanticize your life and your decisions when you're talking to other people. Like, tell them, if it is appropriate, if it's in the context of being, transparent and honest. I'm not saying, you can do a tell all if you wanted to. You can get on social media and tell all your stuff if you want to. But I am saying, when you're having a conversation with a person, let them know that what they see now, this right here, this right here is work. You hear me? This ain't just she rolled over and she always been blessed and highly favored. This was, scraped knees, busted face, depression, anxiety, suicide. Those decisions, those crossroads, those pivotal moments came with some scars. And I would be remiss to not tell that part. You know what I'm saying? Just tell the part, but yeah, girl, yeah, I got that doctorate. Well, let's talk about what was going on during that process. Or, yeah, I got that car, but let's talk about when your credit was a 400. What you had to do to be able to get that house. Let's talk about whatever. So I would encourage us not to romanticize it when we're talking to other people, to save my little save self, save folk. Some of us quick to do that. We'll tell the mountaintop part, but people need to hear the valley story, because That's what helps gets us through. That is what helps get us through. Ooh, totally stuttered. Anyway, so all this to say, we have all experienced life. Things have happened to us. We have made decisions. We have done things, and sometimes we will feel regret. We will feel chagrin. My English teacher would be proud of me for using that word. We will feel sadness about those things, and we will wonder what if. And I'm strongly encouraging you all, and I'm strongly encouraging myself to let it go. Find peace, lay it at the altar, do what you need to do to let it go, and then use that as a springboard to make future wise decisions, so that we have less opportunity to feel regret. So I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. Unless you guys have questions or comments or something of that nature, thank you for hanging out and hanging in with me. I hope this was helpful. I don't know what it felt like. I don't think it felt like a churchy Bible study type thing. I hope it was helpful in a sense to give folks tools for what to do if regret in particular is something that you are challenged by. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And whatever I do, and all of the things that I do, I was just telling a friend this the other day, and all of the things that I do, I really, I want to be practical. So I'm a practical person, give you things that you can actually use and apply. And I want to be honest. Thank you, Cyril. I want to be honest about things that we experience. If I were to, put my Christian hat on for a second again, just to say we need more spaces where we can be honest about things that are happening. And again, if you aren't already following Dr. MC, which is we rise above ABV, we rise above, just another place where we can have these open, candid, honest conversations about things. And if you have topics, if you have, issues or concerns or frustrations or whatever, and you're like, I don't have anybody to talk to, or could you speak to this? Could you share your experience on this? Hit me up. Let me know. I'm all about it. Like I'm all about talking, because at the end of the day, I just want us to be happy, happy in a sense of joy. So not happy based on what's happening, but happy in a sense of like, I have joy in my heart about my life. And so, yeah, so that's it. So it was direct, inspiring, and encouraging. Oh, absolutely what you need. Oh, you're welcome. And thank you. Thank you for hanging out and showing up and sharing, like telling Josh, cousin Josh, Uncle Josh, about it. But yeah, so I love you guys, and I will see you again. So next Tuesday is virtual prayer. So if you have a prayer request, feel free to shoot that to me, which, I don't have to wait till next Tuesday to pray for you. But if you, have one, oh, you are so welcome. If you have a prayer request, DM me, let me know, or hop on the live, which will also be on Instagram and Facebook, where we pray. I think maybe, I don't know, because it's just been stirring in my spirit. Maybe we could do this one together, Dr. MC, about like doing a teaching on praise and worship, like what it is, and suggest ways to do it. So that might be a part of prayer. I don't know. I haven't fully figured it out yet. But anyway, at any rate, on Tuesdays, I always have something going on. So please join me at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I just am excited and delighted and elated to talk to you guys and share with you guys. And so I will go on and on. I will talk all day. So I love y'all. Thank you again for joining. And I will see you guys next week on purpose. I will, do other things too. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. All right, Facebook. Thank you for hanging out. I will see you guys next time. Love you guys. Be blessed, Dr. S.